So, in this video I'm going to be showing how to use light overlays, and so I've already done some light overlays in this gallery, this one. So I just came in the corner and I actually added 3 different overlays to this to create this look. So I'm going to start with the actual, just showing you which one am I going to use? I was going to use this one. Showing you the actual, raw image. So that's my raw image. And then I applied my preset and shifted some things. I used Lady Tory presets, and I think I'm going to crop, right there. So I'm just going to start editing this photo like I normally would, and then I'll put a timestamp so you can go straight to the light part. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pop this into Photoshop. So I'm going to press Control E to put it into Photoshop. So what I'm going to do with this right now, here I'll move myself up so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to have to cover up the settings of my preset because it is paid, and she rightfully does not want me to post her settings all over YouTube. Thank you. But these are my own Photoshop actions that I've made. I'm going to start with, I'm going to do a little pop and see what that does. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Keep that. And then I'm going to do deeper blacks around the edges. So these are just masked, and I paint them on. Actually, I'm going to do deeper blacks on everything right here. The forest floor. I'm going to see what it looks like if I do deeper blacks on the bathtub. It gives it more contrast. And I usually do deeper blacks on clothing, especially when it's like this, just to give it more depth. And it just, I don't know, it makes it look nicer. Okay. Control E to merge those. And I'm going to paint on darkness around the bottom right here. So I'm doing what I call light painting right now. I'm just painting with light and dark to just, I don't know, add some interest. So I use my action I call a little brighter. And I'm trying to avoid also this vignette-y look, so I always paint light to the edges, kind of in the background, behind my subject. So, I'm going to paint on darkness just a little bit more behind her, I think. On this tree. Yeah. Okay, just to make her head pop out a little bit more. Alright, so now I'm ready to decide what kind of light I'm going to use and where it's going to be, all of that, and how it's going to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually remember back in my session, where was the real sun at the time of this shoot? So if I look at my subject, it does look like the sun is coming, like light is coming from this way, because she's being, this is why I use this image for this tutorial. It looks like the sun is hitting her, or the light is hitting her from this side, but I know from the session the sun was actually over here on the right side. The reason why it looks like light is hitting her on her left side is because the light was bouncing and reflecting it, like right here off camera, you can't see, is a big open field, and the sun was like reflecting, and then on the right side it's the trees and stuff, the forest. So the light is coming in, bouncing off of that sky and hitting her right here. But if you could see, like, look at the sky here and the sky over here, this looks a little bit more orangey or yellowy. So I want to put the light in my photo as close as possible to where the actual sun was happening. Because earlier I tried putting it over here and it just didn't look right to me. And maybe just because I just know where the sun was at, but that's just what I do. So I'm going to grab my sunlight, and for this I think I'm going to put the sunlight behind this tree, or I don't know, something, because I want it to look like it's coming through the trees. So I have this cinematic dust, these cinematic dust overlays. I don't know where I got them from. There's like some random website, but I think I'm going to use some of those, and I'll show you just a second. Yeah, so one of them looks like that. And I use this one a lot. And actually with this photo, I think I was thinking about putting in like a ray of sun right here, like the sun is peeking through, rather than coming off camera. So I'm just gonna like kind of play around and see what I like. Oh, I've also got some really nice like magical bokeh looking lights. Greater Than Gatsby has a really good, let me find it, really good light overlay package called Transparent Light, and I use it all the time. This is the one I use all the time. So I'm going to drag this over here. I'm going to start with this one. And I'm going to set the mode, the layer mode, to screen. So I clicked right here, screen. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's way too much. I'm going to press Control T to transform. I'm going to make it way smaller because I want this to be realistic. So realistically, if the sun was peeking through this little hole right here, I mean, it would be more like that, you know, but I think that looks a little silly right there. I don't know. It needs more. I want more. So I'm going to hide that layer, and I'm going to add in this guy. This is what I do. I just play around, see what works. I'm going to Control T to transform, right click. I'm going to flip it horizontally. do that. Get it positioned. I'm going to change the mode to screen. Okay. That's better. And I'm just gonna like turn it. And also what I do, and I might need to add more or just a different one. I've got one I could, let's see. Oh, you know what? What I could do is Control T to transform, make this big like it was, and have that light coming in from the side and see what that looks like. So yeah, even something like that would be fine. But I want more like rays, so let me go back to this guy. And I'm going to go to image, adjustments, color balance, and I always do a little bit red, a little bit of yellow to make it match everything. And I might even want to make this like wider, wider with a D. Like squattier, I don't know, like that. Okay, what I'm gonna do, this is like too thin for me, so I'm gonna duplicate this layer. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm going to move. Oh, but look, you can see the edge. I don't like that, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna mask this and invert the mask and paint on where I want it so I don't have that edge. Ugly. Also, so it's not like on my subject. Sometimes it's hard to see, but it's worth it to try to get rid of that edge because if you blow it up, if your customer blows the photo up, they'll see the edge and it'll look really bad and it'll be embarrassing. You're like, what is that thing in my photo? So to do that, I just toggle it on and off and see if I see any hard lines. So this really just made it kind of like faded looking. So I'm gonna take this guy. Yeah, I really don't remember where I got these. The cinematic dust. You could probably Google, like literally just Google cinematic dust and it'll pop up. It's just like one of those, it was like a Facebook ad or something, you know, one of those things. Yeah, okay. So I've got some more coming in. Oh, see my edge right there? Right there. And now that I know where that edge is, I'm gonna mask it and brush it off. I got a like feather in my brush. There it is. Okay. Just brush it all the way down. Oh wait. There we go. Okay, that's better. And same with this one, I'm going to go to image, adjustments, color balance, little bit of red, more yellow, okay, maybe a little bit more red. Okay. Okay. I still feel like it needs a little extra something. I'm gonna, at this point, take a snapshot of this. It's not bad with that extra little light in there. And I'm I'm gonna turn the opacity of this down. There we go. But I need something like a sun flare or something. So take another snapshot. I'm going to merge these layers since I did take a snapshot. And I've got some sunlight. I bought sun flares I bought on Etsy. I think I'm going to use this one that's called Rainbow Light. I actually use this a lot. Okay. Transform, flip it, angle it, screen. Yeah, see, it just adds a little bit of extra stuff to it. So now, even though we know that there used to be trees right here, it was solid, with this light added here, just a really subtle way, we can maybe imagine that there was a break in the trees that was letting like an insane amount of sunlight in and creating that flare. So yeah, there you have it. And to finish this off, I might make it go, do my a little brighter action. And yeah, it kind of warms it, brightens it a little bit. I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to go paint on some more darkness. Not right there. And add paint on a little bit of brightness to right here. Maybe here. This tree. I like to highlight the trees sometimes. Okay. I'm going to run my contrast action. It's way too much contrast, but let's turn it down. Okay. I think I'm done messing with it. So, there's the before, and then the after. And you can add in, you know what, I might even add in little stuff off to right here. You know what? Let's do that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, this one is from LLP. Something luxury, something Lux presets? I don't even know. I've got so much crap. Okay. That's how I use my light leaks. And so like with this photo, obviously I already have the sun coming in, so I would probably just like enhance that a little bit. With these, I decided not, I mean, I don't know, you could put one at the top and make it look all magical. Like with this one, I could put one just straight at the top. This one is the one I did coming in through the side. And with stuff like this, like you can always add a little tiny sun flare like on her shoulder. Or even like pictures like this. You can add here. Let me show you what I mean. Let me get rid of a bunch of this stuff though. So I'm gonna take this one that I got from Greater Than Gatsby, drag it here, put it in screen mode. And that's too much. That's like, no girl. I'm gonna make it a lot smaller. And just add it right there. That's all you do. I mean, and it makes an impact. Let me move it over a tad. You know, it just adds a little extra something, and it's not like crazy. And it does make a difference. And if you want to watch me edit the rest of this, I think I'm going to click on my background, do the action, lift me up, and invert that mask and paint it on. So yeah, when you've got like a blown out sky, like I have right here, just put a sun flare on it. Doesn't matter. So yeah, like right here you can see I could do something with this. Because that's where the sunset was. But if I were to add one like here, it wouldn't make very much sense because the sky is like already blue. And it just doesn't look like there's a sun there. And obviously the light's coming in really harsh from the side. So, I mean, it just wouldn't make sense. If you wanted to put, here, I'll show you what I would do with this photo. If I were to add some light, I'll show you exactly what I would do. Okay. So going back to my Greater Than Gatsby collection, I've got this sun thing that I use all the time. I'm gonna drag it onto my photo, screen mode, and I'm going to back it up here and Control T to transform. Make it really big. And I make it big so that it can come in off the side and just kind of look like general warmth is coming, like radiating from that direction. Just kind of place it. Maybe I'll make it a tad smaller. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. However, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to reduce that opacity. Let me move it more like that. So it adds a little bit of color to the sky, color to the grass right here. And I can even make it a little brighter. And let me change that color balance. Let me, I don't know. Just kind of make it less orangey. But yeah, so now I've got this little glow going on right here, and now I can take my trusty little sun flare and bring it in. Screen mode. Make that a lot bigger. So I've got like some little rays coming in. Just kind of, you can see them right there. But I don't want the rays up here, so I'm going to mask it, invert it, and just paint it on only where I want it, which is like kind of shining on the grass. Maybe turn down my brush opacity and brush it a little bit. But so yeah, that's what I would do for that one. Because the sun was naturally, and look, you could tell it looks like the sun is literally like lighting up her dress right there. So what I'm gonna do now is do the lift me up action, invert that, paint it on. He's got a big highlight on his face. I'm going to do my deeper blacks action, paint that on the dress like I usually do. And you know what, I'll probably just paint it everywhere on the grass. Really makes that grass pop. But I'm also going to paint on brightness, brighten that back up. I'll reduce the contrast on his arm right here. So there you have it. Just look at where your light's coming from, think about where it was coming from in your original, like when you were taking the picture, change the opacity, use masks, make it natural. It takes practice, and you know, look at some photos online with, you know, real actual light leaks and see what those look like. And kind of like try to copy that vibe, you know, unless you're going for something super surreal. And another thing you could even do when you're doing these light, if you have a really harsh like lines and stuff, like this one is really soft, but if I wanted to make it softer, I go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and just blur up those lines a tad. You know, you can manipulate it any way you want. You just have to play with it. And the more you do it, the faster you get. And the faster you can just whip it out and be like, yeah, that's a sun. So, it takes practice.